Each stabilization has given us a breathing space, resilient and inclusive growth. To consolidate, we must act urgently and we must be deliberate. Let me highlight 7 critical priorities. First, we must drive industrialization and enterprise growth. We must build industries that will produce local. MSMEs that account for 96% of our businesses must have access to affordable finance, stable power, and technology. As we support MSMEs, we also must support large companies. We must support our local champions. We must prioritize reliable power, efficient logistics, and digital connectivity. We must prioritize investment in energy, transport, logistics, and housing, and expand broadband for education, healthcare, and enterprises. Third, this week, Nigeria must signal that it is open, predictable, and fair to investors. Policy predictability, investor protection, and faster dispute resolution are critical. How we treat fiscal sustainability. We must strengthen revenue, monetary policy to sustain trust, growth, and to tame inflation through output expansion while maintaining exchange rate credibility. Fifth, we must advance inclusion. Growth must be felt in households through expanded safety nets, education, healthcare, food supply, and jobs. Policies must be pro-youth, pro-women, and pro-poor, ensuring that opportunity is widely shared. Sixth, we must strengthen our institutions. Reforms last when they are embedded in systems, not in personalities. Regulators must enable businesses, not stifle it. Regulators, pseudo-regulators, aspiring regulators, and labor unions must all need to focus on promoting a positive investment climate that will attract, reward, and retain both domestic and foreign investors. A narrow focus on IGR at the expense of business growth will kill the goose that lays the golden egg. As we all know, dead businesses don't employ workers, they don't pay salaries, and they don't pay taxes. So local production will only happen when we protect local investors and local investments. Seventh, we must address security as an enabler of reform. Without peace, reforms cannot take root. Farmers cannot plant, traders cannot move goods, investors cannot take risks, and the youth cannot find opportunities. Tackling insecurity in rural and urban areas alike is vital to unlock productivity and to restore confidence. If these priority areas are achieved, consolidation will deliver broad-based growth and opportunity. Nigerians will then begin to feel that reforms are not just statistics, but real improvements in daily life. Consolidation is necessary, but it's not sufficient in itself. Beyond consolidation lies acceleration, our second phase, and that's the phase of ambition. And a few areas where we can pursue acceleration. First is structural transformation. Beyond diversification, Nigeria must build competitive, higher value-added industries while scaling up our export of services in ICT and the creative industries. And of course, strengthen linkages between extractives and the manufacturing sector. Second, we must invest in human capital and use people as a catalyst for acceleration. With over 70% of our population being under 30, Nigeria's youths are our greatest opportunity or our greatest risk if neglected. Investing in STEM education, healthcare, and vocational skills can unleash the potential of our youth. Thirdly, global competitiveness and resilience. Nigeria must embrace green growth, digital technology, and become a hub for innovation and climate finance. We must invest in research, linking universities to industry, and driving innovation to boost job creation. And once again, security. Security will be the foundation for transformation. Lasting prosperity requires safety and stability. Securing infrastructure, our borders, trade routes, communities, strategic assets, and critical national infrastructure is critical to allow enterprises to flourish. Ladies and gentlemen, the acceleration phase is what will differentiate survival from true prosperity. It is how we can achieve sustained high growth, rising per capita income, poverty reduction, and global competitiveness. As we consider both consolidation and acceleration, we must be guided by a simple yet powerful framework that has informed the sub-themes of this summit. I call them the 5 I's: industrialization, infrastructure, investment, inclusion, and institutions. These are not abstract concepts. They are the pillars of reform, and they must be the foundation of the National Development Plan for 2026-2030 that is being developed. We need these 5 I's to drive both domestic and foreign capital. But capital flows where it finds predictability, credibility, and trust. We must send a clear message. Nigeria is open for investment, and Nigeria will protect, not picket investors, as we have sadly seen recently with the Dangote refinery. Ladies and gentlemen, we must also acknowledge the political economic headwinds that constrain reform, including vested interests, elite capture, weak institutions, and governance bottlenecks. Pretending that these barriers do not exist will not serve us. Rather, the NESG and the summit process must continue to act as dialogue partners and accountability partners that will help to unlock reforms by mobilizing citizens, holding leaders to account, and providing evidence-based pathways. The private sector is not merely a beneficiary of reform, it is a co-architect of transformation. Entrepreneurs and investors take the risks that build nations. The government must in turn fuel and not frustrate enterprise. Affordable finance, reliable infrastructure, clear regulations, transparent incentives, and predictable taxations are some of the levers that will unlock private investment and private energy. Public-private partnerships must be efficient and transparent. The NESG will continue to serve as a bridge, convening reforms for tough conversations and connecting evidence to policy and policy to action. Nigeria is greater. We must all decide to act urgently and with purpose instead of procrastinating. We must act to rebuild what has been destroyed, to innovate and create that which we don't have, but we so fervently desire, and to shun prebendalism for a vision of a prosperous and inclusive nation. As the Holy Book says, we have favored some of you over others in provision. Hence, we as elites and leaders must commit to a Nigeria that rewards hard work, not enterprises, that protects the vulnerable. Our intentions must drive change, our actions must inspire hope, and our vision must uplift generations. Let this summit mark the turning point. Let us live not with communiques, but with commitments to strengthen institutions, to unleash the private sector, protect the vulnerable, and to secure a future where every Nigerian can thrive. Together, we can build a prosperous and inclusive Nigeria with equal opportunities for all, and forge a nation where hope is sustained, dreams are nurtured, prosperity is shared, and where no one is left behind. This is the urgent task before us. So once again, I welcome you all to Next 31. Thank you for your kind attention, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.